Breaking news from Bay Minette. The Steve Nodine murder trial has adjourned until Monday morning. Closing arguments were heard this afternoon. Fox 10 News has live team coverage of the trial, and we start with April Douglas. April?
Well, Bob, the jury has gone home for the day and will come back on Monday when Judge Charles Pardon will charge the jury. Nodine is facing murder charges, felony stalking, and ethics violations. During her closing arguments, Baldwin County District Attorney Judy Newcomb said the only undisputed fact in this case is that Angel Downs is dead, and she told a friend, "If I die, I did not kill myself. Stephen Nodine did." Now, also during closing arguments, Judy Newcomb, she told the jury Stephen Nodine didn't care about Angel Downs. She pointed out Nodine never tried to call Angel after she died, not even after someone told him the police were looking for him about a deceased woman in Gulf Shores. Newcomb told jurors Angel Downs was murdered and Stephen Nodine needs to be held accountable. Newcomb reminded jurors about what Dr. James Downs testified to, that someone held a gun to Angel Downs' head and pulled the trigger. He pointed to a scuffed button and the way her hair bent down around her head. Now, Knisely, defense attorney Dennis Knisely, told jurors the state's hired expert was making things up to try and earn his $13,000. Knisely said Angel Downs killed herself because the only person she had to live for was going home to his wife, and she had tried to kill herself before. Knisely said there is no evidence, no blood on his clothes, no gunpowder residue on his car that proved Nodine shot Angel Downs. Knisely said it is the jury's duty to acquit Stephen Nodine. Now, the jury has gone home for the day in this case. They will come back on Monday where they will be charged. Now, the state, it entered more than 300 pieces of evidence, from phone records, from letters written between Angel Downs and Stephen Nodine, from autopsy reports, body cam video. Now, this does not include the evidence entered by the defense, so this is a lot of evidence, a lot of material to go through. We suspect that the jury will start deliberations on Monday, hopefully to have a verdict for you by then. This is a case that has gone on for 2 weeks, and it is a case that there is so much information. We have it all for you at fox10tv.com, and it is a case that people are watching. Now, as we said, closing arguments are over in the Steve Nodine murder trial. Chastity Byrd has been in the courtroom as well, tweeting. And closing arguments are very important. It is the last time that an attorney will have a chance to speak to that jury.
That's right, April. And a lot of the testimony or the closing arguments that we heard today, we heard a lot about some of the evidence that was brought into court. We also heard about some of the testimony. Now, keep in mind, just like April said, closing arguments are the last thing that the jury hears before they go deliberate the fate of Steve Nodine. So our question of the night on Facebook for you: do you think closing arguments play a big part for a juror? Is it big to them? Does it make a difference? Let's go ahead and take a look at Facebook and see what some of you had to say. Now, we'll go for Lori Nichols, who says, no, I think the evidence spoke for itself during the trial. Cherry says, I believe it does. They will remember every word, even after they look back on all the evidence. Teresa Pyle says, as a juror who has heard closing arguments at the time they're being made, of course they do. It's whoever makes the best argument with the best proof or dispute of proof that sticks in your mind. And we'll take one more from Cynthia Smith. Yes, from my experience on the panel, it does make a difference. Now, if you've just joined us, closing arguments are finished for the defense and prosecution. Coming back at 8:30 on Monday morning, the jury will be charged, and then they will begin to deliberate the fate of Steve Nodine. Of course, we will be here in Bay Minette. April and I will be in the courtroom all day on Monday, starting at 8:30 that morning. We'll be tweeting the updates. We'll also be on Facebook and fox10tv.com. You don't want to miss any of this as we come back on Monday. Reporting live in Bay Minette, Chastity Byrd, Fox 10 News.